But towards the end of my incarceration, I ended up in solitary, and this is where I had my spiritual awakening, where I feel like I changed my life around.
First off, let me ask you, how did you end up in solitary then?
So towards the end of my incarceration, I qualified for this special program, and I did the special program before. It's called SHOCK. So it's like ex-Marines turned correctional officers. So they beat the crap out of you for 6 months, and they let you go home 3 years before your sentence. And so,
Wait, what?
yes. So I had 7 years, right? In 7 years, you have to do, as a non-violent crime, you have to do like 6 years.
Minimum, yeah.
Minimum. And then I got to come home early. So, but 3 years before that, 6 years, I qualified for this program called SHOCK. So SHOCK, they bring you in there, you do 6 months of this program, and then you skip from doing all that time. And that's how I got out in 4 years. But while I was in the program,
But what is the program exactly?
ex-Marines turned correctional officers. So it's a boot camp. You know, you wake up at 5:30 in the morning. Yeah, in 8 minutes, you have to brush your teeth, take a shit, take a piss, have your hospital corners on your bed, and fully be in a position of attention, you know, on a countdown to work out for an hour and a half, and then eat, and then do slave labor in the middle of a field or cemetery in New York State.
Wow. And so you did this for 3 years?
I did that for 6 months. Well, I did it for before my previous prison sentence to save myself.
You had done it too. And what are they trying to accomplish? Just like, it's a way of reform, they think? It's like building discipline and hard work?
Both.
Is that the idea?
Both. You know, all the ideas above. You know, you start off with like 60 people in a group, and you end up being like 20 people when you graduate it. But it's a hands-on program. You know, at the time they were, I seen people's ribs being broken, nose being broken, like they beat you down. You know, I remember like walking a mile on our knees, you know, in little pebble rocks, and then our knees are bleeding, and I'm just like popping out little rocks out of my knees. And then going into the mess hall where you're supposed to eat, and then you have to sit on metal stools on your knees and eat for like 10 seconds. You know, and if you can't eat in 10 seconds,
you're not gonna eat.
You're not gonna eat. You know, and so you're like swallowing some shit, and if you're still chewing, they're like making you fucking throw it up. You know, and torture.
Is it good? Do you think it's?
There was certain parts of the program that I really like respect in terms of like time management, responsibility, cleanliness, you know, and stuff like that. But then there was like some stuff that was just over excessive.
Yeah, it sounds so brutal.
And it's like very racist. I had very racist guys. Like these officers had swastika signs on their arms. Like there was this guy named Iceman. He had a black baby with a tree being hung on his arm. Yeah.
And this is allowed?
Oh yeah. This is upstate New York, man. This 2026, everything's allowed. Trump did it. You know?
We could start a whole conversation with that.
You know, like that nothing's impossible.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And wait, this was when? What year was this when you were doing this boot camp?
2012.
That's fucking crazy. And does SHOCK program still exist?
Yeah, it still exists.
It does.
They've been through so many lawsuits for so many abusive incidents in there that things have cooled down. But
the idea behind it is that they are basically working on the incarcerated population, making them better human beings. Is that the idea?
The certain people, and then certain people are like, you know, get to work, you know, get in the field, you know, and like do slave labor.
Because it's also, it's free labor for the prison, I guess, or for the state.
I was getting paid 7 cents an hour, so it was not.
To do what?
To mow lawns, clean dams, build stuff, you know,
right.
roofing.
So it's essentially almost free labor, right?
I'm joking. Yeah, it's free labor, but you know, 7 cents is crazy. You know, I was released with $40 in a bus ticket, as many inmates in prison are in New York State. You know, and what do you do with $40? Right? 9-hour bus ride, you stop halfway, you go to McDonald's, you spend $20.
Right.
You get on the MTA, you spend $5.
Yeah.
You buy a snack at night, you spend another $5. You wake up with $10 in New York City.
What do you do with that?
Yeah, cup of coffee, you're done.